Welcome to Stormin Chocolate. I'm Stormin Norman. Today's song is number 14, Hitch a Ride by Boston from their first album. When we did song number 3, which was Boston's foreplay Long Time, the last song on side 1, we didn't talk much about Boston's history. Boston, as you might imagine, came from Boston, where Tom Scholz went to MIT and got a mechanical engineering's bachelor's degree in 1969 and a master's degree in 1970. After college, he went to work for Polaroid as a senior design engineer. However, he was a musician at night, and he was always a tinkerer as he grew up in Ohio, and he built a studio down in his basement. He spent the next 6 years unsuccessfully submitting demos to record companies who didn't want to hear his progressive music. Finally, sometime in late 1975, I believe, Epic Records heard the demos and they signed both Tom and Brad Delp to a record contract. Tom had brought Brad in to do the vocals on the album. I'm not sure what Tom sounds like as a singer, but Brad Delp is absolutely outstanding, and he's part of the signature Boston sound. Brad Delp was the lead singer for Boston's first, second, and fourth album. Fran Cosmo was lead singer on Boston's third album, Walk On, because Brad had commitments. The problem is that after Boston's second album, Tom was such a perfectionist that he took a long time in between album recording sessions, and he essentially told the group members to go off and do other things while I figure this out, while I get everything nailed down and we go into the studio. So a lot of them started other bands or joined other bands and had other priorities and commitments. So that's what happened in Boston's history. Guitarist Barry Goudreau was the person who introduced Tom to Brad Delp in 1969. Barry was local to the Boston area, having grown up just north of the city, and he was in and out of bands since he was 13. When he was 15, he joined a band with Sib Hashian, the drummer, and later on, the two of them met Fran Sheehan, who turned out to be the bassist in Boston. They all grew up north of Boston, and hence they were all Boston natives after Tom, the transplant, became a Bostonite. Tom essentially played all of the instruments except for drums on his demos, for which he recruited Jim Mazdia. However, Epic told him that he needed to have the drums re-recorded, and Jim Mazdia couldn't be that person because of a contractual conflict or some other reason. So Tom brought in Sid Hashian, who was well known to Barry and Fran and everybody else who was already in the group. Actually, Tom started a band in 1973 called Mother's Milk with Jim Mazdia on drums, Brad Delp on vocals, and Barry Goudreau on guitar. However, they disbanded a year later. But as you can tell, they became the core of the Boston group. Boston, the first album, was released in August of 1976. All songs on side 1 were released as singles, and several of the songs on side 2 were released as B-sides to those signals. So Let Me Take You Home Tonight, Smokin', and actually Foreplay were the B-sides to the singles Long Time, Peace of Mind, and More Than a Feeling. However, Rock and Roll Band and Hitch a Ride got plenty of airplay because they were great songs on the album, but were never released as singles. For me, there are two great things about Hitch a Ride. First, the lyrics are metaphorical and allegorical. They kind of paint a picture of somebody who is not happy with their current life. And in interviews, Tom said that working for Polaroid, there was a lot of dog-eat-dog nature to the business there, with a lot of people worrying about their jobs and striving to get ahead. And this was his inspiration for the song Peace of Mind on side 1. Hitch a Ride is very similar, but it's more obscure in the lyrics than Peace of Mind is. The verses describe the miasma that the singer is experiencing, and the chorus has the solution. I'm going to hitch a ride and get out of town. I'm going to leave all of this stuff behind. So here's what the first chorus sounds like.
Day is night in New York City, smoke Smoke like water runs inside, still out of trees to pity.
And as I said, the chorus has the solution, which starts like this.
Gonna hitch a ride, head for the other side, leave it all behind, never change my mind. Gonna sail away, sunlight's another day, freedom on my mind, carry me away for the last time. Oh yeah.
The song has a simple A-B structure. The choruses are all the same, and the last chorus comes in after a short guitar solo. Then after the last chorus, as the voices fade out, we get the second great thing about this song, the guitar battle. So as the voices fade out, we get one guitar that comes in, a lead guitar, and it does its thing. And then we get a different sounding guitar that comes in and battles the other one. And this goes back and forth and back and forth. And then finally at the end, they come together and they play the same notes. And then one of them goes up an octave and up another octave. And this goes back and forth. And then finally, it kind of fades out. And then we just hear an acoustic guitar picking. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, since we pointed it out on Long Time, is that there are hand claps. It's amazing that I didn't notice for a long time, but both Long Time and Hitch a Ride feature prominently hand claps. So that's great. During the guitar battle, it's kind of like you have people witnessing this battle between guitarist A and guitarist B, and they're just going, yeah, let's go, let's go, and they're keeping the beat, kind of thing. So it's very fun, and it's probably the greatest guitar battle I've ever heard. And it's a long battle. It comes in at about 2.5 minutes of this 4-minute songs, and it kind of lasts the rest of the song, except for the last 20 seconds or so where the acoustic guitar comes in and then ends the song. So just like the Foreplay Long Time video mentioned, there is a cover of this song by the Lexington Labs Band, and it has all of the same characters in there. I will note that Dale is playing acoustic guitar and the lead singer is not playing acoustic guitar this time, but all of the other characters are the same and their parts are the same in the song. And it's a great rendition, and I love watching the two guys who are playing the electric guitars battle back and forth. Again, it's what I'm looking for in a song. So that link is also down in the description, and I hope you enjoy watching both of that and listening to this song. So this is the last song in our first 14. We don't know what song is coming yet because I'm in the middle of picking them out of my playlist, but there's about 40 to 60 songs, both instrumentals and vocal songs, that I have lined up. I just haven't put them in a specific order yet. So we'll start up again in a week or two, and we hope to see you again. And for Chocolate and myself, Stormin, thank you for watching. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.
Are you smiling?